Best price possible, so call the real estate guy today and sell it fast and get the most cash. And I mean get the most cash. 702-310-6683. eXp Realty. Call for details. License number 38886.
Talk to Aaron Taylor,
the real estate guy.
Hanging at the William Hill Sportsbook inside Silver Sevens. It's Cofield and Company.
Curtis Terry's with us, former UNLV basketball player and now part of the broadcast team on the radio side, developing a multimedia empire. Got to start somewhere. He's down with us here at Silver Sevens. All right, so tell us what's going on with the UNLV Caravans and what you did today, because I know you had an event with Kevin Kruger.
Yeah, so what UNLV Athletics is doing with the Caravan event is allowing the community and the fans to engage with their head coaches. I think this is like the third year or something that they've done it officially that I kind of remember. Last year, obviously, was virtually. TJ Otzelberger's first year, obviously, he did a lot of different things in the community over like 14 days or something like that. And so the event that we did today with Kevin Kruger was a live stream. It was called Kicking It with Curtis and Kevin. And so we were at the Mendenhall Center on the mezzanine for about 45, 50 minutes. We kind of relived the 2006-2007 Sweet 16 season. Had some fun. I asked him some awkward questions, try to kind of crack that shell on Coach Kruger, which, like you mentioned off air, it's fun to say. I like saying it. I like hearing it. Head coach Kevin Kruger. But we just had a good time and talked about kind of what he wants to do in terms of building this team moving forward, as well as kind of with the overhaul and old guys going out, new guys coming in, kind of restarting. But just something for Kevin to have some fun and sit down and kick back, and nothing too serious. But yeah, it was a good time.
I'm really intrigued by part of what you said there of like trying to break that shell. Like, will we see a different side of Kevin now that he's a head coach? I mean, we know who he is. Like he's Lon's son. He's a different person.
Right.
But I do think there's a personality there that a lot of people don't know. But I feel like he's going to find his way a little bit.
100% there's a personality there that people don't know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, and I've known this guy since I was 14 years old. When Lon was coaching the Atlanta Hawks, my brother Jason was on the team. So I met Kevin, and we talked about today in the family room at Phillips Arena, like where you get all the food and the snacks and kind of hang out. And since then, he's the same guy now, obviously older, less hair for him. Mine's just shorter. But in having played with him, and then after that, having lived with him in the summers while we were playing professionally, he's the same guy. He's fun, but he's very good at keeping it restrained, I guess, or kind of picking and choosing his spots. But I think that's because if he learned that professionalism from being around his dad and being on benches and being in that atmosphere. But I think we're going to see more of it. The one thing I did ask him is a lot of similarities between you guys, but what's different, or what do you do better than your dad? And he was like, I'm more fiery. I'll get after it a little bit more. He's like, I'll drop some curse words. His dad won't, except for dadgummit.
Wait, Lon?
That's as bad as it gets.
Right, but Lon was fiery.
Yeah, but in a different kind of way.
Yeah.
It's different, man. I mean, I feel like Lon, like steam would come out of his ears. Kevin's going to get like, you'll see spit flying, and it's just different. I don't know. But again, Lon scares me to this day.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing. He commands respect.
Yeah, but we had I'm not cracked a joke, but we were talking about shooting and kind of how it's like riding a bike. You don't forget how to do it. And then I was like, so right now, free throw contest, best out of 100, you and your dad, who's going to win? He's like, oh, me, hopefully. And I was like, no, for real. And he was like, he's old. When do you think the last time he shot a free throw? And I was like, it's like riding a bike, though. And then I said, an old bike?
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, and I was like, oh, dang it, I shouldn't have said that. Kevin started cracking up. So hopefully
you're in trouble. Next time you see Lon Kruger.
I don't know if I'm going to get invited over for any dinners this summer.
Let's talk about how Kevin has built the team so far. So it looks like they got one, maybe two spots left. Right. They've been really patient. Do you like the group? Do you like the look of the group?
Yeah, I do a lot. And I think people on paper aren't probably going to be crazy about it and saying, ooh, this is what we're going to have, or this is what this guy did, at his previous stop. But with this group, they're going to be more in tune and aggressive defensively. And I think that's one thing that they need. You can't come in here and think we're the running rebels and flying up and down the court. That's True, but you got to start defensively, and I think that's what Coach Tark's teams did. That's what we did with Lon, in terms of just being aggressive defensively, get offense out of that. So I think with this group, the Southland Conference Player of the Year, David Nwoko, what they're bringing in from Texas with Ham, they're going to be good, and I think they're going to surprise a lot of people because these kids are going to be in a better spot now than they were before.
The conference needs 2 programs to get back to where they were, New Mexico and UNLV. New Mexico is going to be back. Richard Pitino is collecting players. He's got good guards already. He's in on more good players. There's a transfer, another one in the portal from Minnesota. They already got Mashburn Jr. There's another one, a wing, who's in the portal. If he lands at New Mexico, I'm telling you, New Mexico is going to be improved enough to probably be 500 next year in conference. And they were dreadful this year.
Yeah, they were bad. I mean, by the end of the team, by the end of the season, they didn't have a team. They were struggling. New Mexico's New Mexico. They're always tough, especially if there's fans in that place. It's a completely different environment.
Yep.
Can Pitino do it? Yeah, maybe.
Here's the thing. He'll have players. I don't know if he's going to be one of the best coaches, X's and O's in the league.
Right.
But they will have players, which means they have expectations, which means they are typical New Mexico. And Alford's been their best coach recently, but they will always have players.
And in the Mountain West, if you have athletes, if you have guys that can run and jump and defend, you're going to have a chance. And I think that's the one thing that they have, just like that's what Kevin and his staff have brought in so far this offseason.
So I know it's a difficult breakup, and I don't want to sound like the man left at the altar. But Otzelberger, have you followed what he's done at Iowa State? It's weird. So when he was trying to build the program here, he was building with a lot of freshmen. He goes to Iowa State, and it's almost like, what I've learned the lesson, there is no time. He's gone in there, and all he's done, he got Caleb Grill. I don't know how much Caleb is going to play. I think he's going to be more of a bench player. But they just got another player, another good transfer from Penn State. Like, he is going out, and he is trying to win now. I don't know if it'll work, but in the Big 12, he ain't messing around. I think he learned his lesson. Like, there is no slow build.
Right, and it depends on what you step into and what you inherit. I mean, at South Dakota State, he inherited a great group. Obviously, a team that had experience, had veterans, and kind of stepped in and picked up and continued what they were doing. At UNLV, not the case, but their first year, they were obviously very successful in terms of finishing second in conference, beating number 4 ranked at the time, San Diego State. But I haven't followed a single thing of what he's done since he walked out that door, honestly. I like the guy, cool. I sent him a text when it was official.
You're not gonna follow it, huh?
Crickets.
Apparently, no. I'm in the minority. I follow
Curtis
it.
just said, "Who? Who are you talking about?"
I mean, let's be real. They're going to end up at the lower third of the Big 12.
So
It's Iowa State.
I got to mention something in the NBA. Who's your favorite team? Longtime fan of?
Pistons?
No. Come on, really?
Oh, I'm a Dubs fan.
Right. He loves the Warriors. Since they hit rock bottom, now he's a big Warriors fan. So Wiggins has had a reputation of not being ultra competitive, not having drive. This story today, to me, turns everything around for him. What did he do with his wife?
He had her delay labor because they were playing a game and said, "Yeah, hold off on this." And then as soon as the game was over, flew out, was there for her to have the baby. But he was like, "All right, hold on. Let's not induce this thing yet."
Wow. Look at the dad and Curtis shaking his head at the two childless dudes who were like, "That's what you do.
First
Compete, baby."
How do you convince the girl that this is the right idea? That's the bigger question.
No, the bigger question is, where do you get the cojones to try to convince her to do that? I mean, I'll be married here this August for 8 years. I've got 2 kids, 8 and 5 years old. There's no chance. And where would I have asked her to do that? I mean, nope. I'm surprised I'm surprised she said yes.
A regular season game?
Come
They're
on.
trying to get in the playoffs. It's nitty-gritty time.
But
the kid can wait a little bit.
Did they even win that game?
They lost.
No, see? I mean, the thing I thought was even funnier, when he was coming out of the draft, I did not know he was referred to as Maple Jordan.
Oh, yeah.